Hello and welcome back. So I've just arrived at my camping spot area for the night. I'm parked on a lay-by on the side of the road, and I'm going to be heading up the hill, which is just off to my left, just here. It's about 2 o'clock in the afternoon, so it's still quite warm, but I'm just going to take a nice walk up to the to where I'm going to be sleeping tonight. We'll do a few shots along the route, but I ain't going to really talk too much or anything. Just have a nice walk, and then I'll bring you back later when we're up to the top of the hill. Okay, so I've just started on the walk, so I'm heading up the farm track to the it's like the start of the route that I want to go to. I just thought I'd show you a quick view of some of the area that I'm walking in. But yeah, it's lovely views today, but I'll show you some more at the top. Okay, so I've just come from that direction there, and this is the view right now. Going down the valley, got an old house, farmhouse just there. Okay, and I'm heading over that stile, following the fence line down, and then I'm going to follow this tree line down to the bottom of the hill. And in a minute I'm going to jump over the gate now, and I'll show you where I'll be sleeping tonight. So it's the highest hill in the area, so say hello to the sheepies. Hello sheepies. So I'm heading down there towards the tree line, and that there is where I'm going to be sleeping. Up there at the top of there tonight is where I'm going to be sleeping. So I usually go up this very steep track here, but I think what I'm going to do this time is go up. You see the track just there? I'm going to go up there and around the other way. So the name of the hill is Cear Caradoc Hill. There's an old fort up here, and it's near Stretton, just opposite Cardiff Mill Valley. From Cardiff Mill Valley there's a viewing point, a little information point, which actually has got the information about that hill fort, which I have seen. So so yeah, I have stopped up on top of this hill before. So it's a nice hill. You can see around the area, you can see Church Stretton, Little Stretton, Leominster, if that's how you say it, I don't think it is, and Shrewsbury, Telford, Birmingham. You can see all the kind of local area light up at night. So last light is probably like 9:30, so I will make sure I get some good photos, and the cloud cover, as you can see, isn't too bad, so hopefully it burns off tonight and we get a good sunset, so, and then a good sunrise in the morning. So I'll bring you back in a bit. Okay, so this part here, we actually drop down slightly into like this kind of mixed woodland, and down to a stream at the bottom. So as you can see, that is the view at the moment, and then we're heading down here towards the bottom. Tell you what, I've realised I need to start getting out a lot more and walking, because I'm breathing out my bumhole a little bit coming up just a slight hill. So yeah, I need to get out a bit more. But this is a lovely little woodland here, and yeah, I'll bring you back in a bit. Okay, so just walking down the track, and I've spotted some good firelighting stuff, which is coal fungus, King Alfred's cake. So this is a fungus that mainly grows on dead ash, and good for firelighting. So as I was saying, sorry, this is coal fungus, or King Alfred's cake. Mainly grows on dead ash trees, and if you break it open, it's got to be really dry, rich. This one, as you can hear, is really dry. Break it open, take a spark, and it will smoulder like charcloth. So so yeah, so this is the bottom of the hill, and up that way is the track that goes straight up. But I'm going to follow this track up and around the hill to the other side and come up the other way for a change. So I'll bring you back when I'm up there. Okay, so the route I'm following is actually a green laning route. So on the map it'll be a road with green dots on, set at intervals, so the same intervals over and over. And this is actually a 4x4 track, so this is what it looks like. Okay, and this is a 4x4 track, so vehicles can come up here. So this is the hills. So as I say, I've been up this way before and come across the top and then slept at the top there. But what I'm going to do this time is I'm going to go along the bottom, and there's a smaller hill I want to check out, which is called Little Caradoc, which is a smaller, slightly smaller hill at 322 metres above sea level. And where I'm going to be staying is 459 metres above sea level. So yeah, lovely area. And yeah, just going to do a little snippet as I'm walking along, so I'm not out of breath talking to you. So yeah, so I've just got up to the top of a brow of the hill, and I just thought I'd show you the view of the hill, which is Willstone Hill and Battlestones. So up there you got Willstone Hill, which is that, and then the Battlestones are through that as well. Sorry, and this is Willstone Hill, and this is the view. Let's go super duper zoomed out mode. This is the view from where I am now. So where I'm heading is up this track about another 300 metres or so, and then I'm going to swing a left towards the hill where I want to get to. Okay, so I'm now off the 4x4 track, which is just behind me down there. Now I'm heading to the smaller of the hills, which I'll show you. So in the middle of the screen there is that little Caradoc. That's where I'm heading to. So I'm going to head up towards a gate there and come across, brow that hill, find my way around to there, and then once I'm there I'm going to head back, because I've got plenty of time, along, and I'm going to try and go up that ridge there to the top of there where the old fort used to be. But yeah, so this is the view right where I'm stood. So it's quite a bit of wind, which is nice, keeping the heat down. And yes, we all know that YouTubers do this, leave the camera behind, walk for a minute, and then walk back. And let's be honest, it is a little bit daft. But it's got to be done, innit? So now I've done my obligatory walking away from the camera. We're going to carry on walking now, so we're going to head towards the stile just there, and that's the little hill that I want to go to first. I'm going to have a sit up there for a bit, have some food. It's only 3:45, and then I'm going to head back up this fence line here, and then you can see there's a route. Hopefully you can see there's a route that runs up that face just there. I'm going to attempt to get up there, so we'll see how that pans out. But as I say, you can hear there's quite a bit of wind today, which is actually keeping it quite cool while we're walking. And these reeds that you can see growing here, normally where these reeds kind of grow, it's a bit wet, but it's very dry at the moment because there hasn't been obviously any rain, so there isn't any moisture around. But when you're on the map, looking on the map and stuff, there'll be little blue lines, which will be there's the northings and eastings, but there'll be like blue small lines which are normally like little springs or runoffs from the hills and stuff. So keep an eye on that, because if you walk through stuff like this here when it's wet, it will be absolutely gipping and very wet. And as you can see, there is a low point here with some sheepy sheeps. And point to note, I have got shorts on, so I will be doing a tick check later, and I've got my tick thing with me. But as you can see, there's probably usually water in that. You can see by the kind of the dirty clay at the bottom, but there is nothing in there at the moment. So yeah, I'm going to head up to the top of there, and then have a little look at the view from that way, because you can see it looks amazing down there. But I'll bring you back when I'm at the top of the hill, because you definitely don't want to hear me breathing out my bottom on the way up the hill. Okay, so made it to the top, and as you can see, I'm a little bit out of breath. But as you can probably hear as well, it is quite windy. I have got the windsock on the mic, but it is still quite windy up here, so I'm not quite sure how this is going to sound. But I'll just show you the view from the here, which is the smaller of the two hills. You can see the track I need to take up to the top in a bit. But yeah, we'll have a look now. So this is the view from the top of here. Okay, it's that little cadre that you can see here. There's quite a decent bump there, a hill all the way along here. That's actually Carding Mill Valley, so over Stretton. So the road, which I don't know if you can see, there's a road just there, that's the Burway. And then as you can see, we're going to pan around now, and then there's another hill there which is called the Lawley, and there is a settlement on top of that. So maybe the next time I come here, I might head up that way and go for a little camp up that way. But that's my view at the moment. So yeah, but I'll be heading back up that way in a bit. I'm gonna have a little snack. Okay, so I've had 10-15 minutes, had some sweeties to get some energy on. Oh, excuse me, on board. So I've got my walking poles out. So now I'm going to head for the top of that. So I'm going to head towards that big pile of stones, I think you can see there, and just head straight up the top of that. Hopefully, that's the plan anyway. So I might do a little bit of a shot part of the way up, but I'll say I'll be breathing hard, so probably not. So if not, I'll see you at the top. Okay, so I'm 3/4 of the way up, and I definitely need to work on my fitness. So I've just come from where all the sheep are, down there, up here. I'm now here, and now I'm just going to go up that little track just there and around through that gap to the top. Blooming hell. Oh, what views, man. What absolute lovely views. Right, crack on. Try and get to the top now. Right. Not far to go, I hope. Never actually been up this way before, so this might be a false ridge, but by the looks of it, steps being the top. Down my leggies. The size of these steps. Alright, so I've got a little plateau just here, which might be an option for tonight to sleep here, because as you see it's quite windy, so I want to try and get out the wind as much as possible. Yeah, so just got this a little bit to go, so might get myself later on tonight, if no one else turns up, maybe here, but oh, excuse me, I recognise this now. And there's like a dip, like a bowl, I think, at the top of here. As I say, there used to be an old fort here, so you can see it's all kind of dug up, and these, I'd say, these banks were put here to protect the hill fort. And obviously you can see from the view, just from the little one, let's get up here now, this would be the perfect place to kind of defend your area. So you can pretty much camp anywhere up here. It's all flat, but you are exposed to the wind. And that's the way down over there, that little track, which I'll probably take tomorrow. But I know I've stopped in here before. I think it was here anyway. Was it here? Yeah. So I've stopped in this little dip before. It's not perfectly flat, but it does hide you from the wind in that little dip down there. If I go down here, I'll show you. So I think it's one of those two options really for camping at the top of here. Let's go have a little wander down here a bit, see if there's anywhere else that I could pitch up. So there's loads of flat areas. There's even that little bit there which doesn't look too bad. Let's have a look at it from this direction. It's a bit bumpy, but I've got a mat to sleep on. But that area doesn't look too bad either, so that might be an option. I mean, if I set up my tent and people come up here, well, it is what it is, but I know I'm not the only person who's stopped up here, because the last time I come up here there was about 2-3 other people while camping here. So I know it's a well-known spot for the area. So yeah, well, I'm gonna have a wander around for a bit and see what I can find. So right, so I think I'll bring you back when I have some food in a bit. Okay, so it's time for some tea then. So this is my cook set and my food bag. So food wise, I have got for tonight, so this is tea and breakfast, so I'll show you what I've got. So I've got some peanut butter, which is a nice not so healthy snack, so it can just be an energy boost. So, and then we have got an energy drink which I might have in the morning ready for the walk down, which is a orange one, which is out the army ration packs. Now for tea, some of you are going to say this is disgusting, but I've got sardines in tomato sauce with savoury chicken flavoured rice. Now how I'm going to cook this is I'm going to take it out of the packet, put a tiny bit of water in the bottom of my cooking pot, and just basically just warm it through, steam it through, and then add the sardines, give it a mix round, and off we go. And then for tomorrow morning for breakfast, I've got vegetarian and sausage with beans ration pack meal. And this is just a dry bag, but in the bottom of the dry bag, I always carry with me a food bag or an IKEA freezer bag, whatever you want to call it, just to put all the rubbish in. Obviously, this has got sardines, so it's going to smell. So all the rubbish that goes inside there, the rubbish goes inside there, and then the sardines goes inside of that bag as well. So I've also got with me just a load of snacks. So some rock, which my mum got me when she went to Barmouth yesterday, and I've got some salted cashews and a cherry flapjack for afters. So that's for after tea. So we're going to start cooking up food. So I've moved all the sheep poop out of the way. I've got some water. So we have got in my cook set. Oh, I've also got coffees as well. So I've got a hot chocolate in there and a couple of coffees. So hot chocolate for tonight and then a couple of coffees for tomorrow morning. So cook pot wise, I've got a just under 1 litre titanium pot with titanium spoon and a lid. It's a little bit windy up here, so I'm going to stash the bag underneath my walking poles so it doesn't blow away. So that's what I'm going to cook the rice in. And then the actual cooker itself, I've got, you don't see me use gas very often, but just because of how dry it is up here and where I am, I thought I'd go for a gas cooker. So I've got a titanium 500ml mug with a lid, so I could do a brew just in that if I wanted a brew. And then gas bottle, which is plenty full for this little trip that I'm on. So if you haven't seen these before, these little stands just stabilise your gas really. So they just clip into there, stabilises your gas a bit more. And then this is a Primus stove. I've had this ages, and I think to make it a bit smaller, I cut a little bit off here, off the pot stand. So it is a bit windy up here, so this is going to blow, but it is what it is. So what I'm going to do, because I am getting hungry now, is touch of water in the bottom, probably a little bit too much. Let's drink some of that. And obviously there will be some fluid inside the sardines, so I'm just going to get out my lighter. And so you're only really just, this is already pre-cooked, so you're just warming it through really, the rice. So rice goes in there, bag it gets put underneath something heavy. Then I'm going to light up the gas stove, and then this is the good thing about having handles on gas on these handles on these stove, these pots, as you can hold on to it while it's cooking. Now the idea obviously is you've only put a little bit of rice and a little bit of water in. So make sure that's on the thing properly, the gas head. Put all the rice back in, put the lid on, and just leave it a few minutes just to start steaming through. Now I haven't bought a plate, I haven't bought a bowl or anything. I'm just going to eat straight out of the of my billy pot. Now, obviously, you normally see me using stainless steel or whatever, but just because of what the hike was like up, which you've seen in the video, I opted for something lightweight. So just because titanium is very thin, it does seem to burn everything very quickly. So I'm just going to turn the gas stove down a touch. And just keep moving it around so it doesn't stick to the bottom. If it does, it doesn't stick very much. So I think I'm going to add the sardines very soon, because the rice is starting to stick to the bottom of the, as you can see, it's just starting to stick a little bit just at the bottom there. So I have turned the gas right down, but it's just because it's such a small gas head. The head itself is quite small, you get a very concentrated flame in the middle. So I'm just going to turn that off a sec. Now obviously, each to their own, but I actually do like sardines in tomato sauce. So squeeze some tomato sauce in, open it up, and then just going to break up the sardines into the rice. And obviously you've got a lot more fluid in there now. Now the reason I've knocked the gas off is not to waste it while I'm messing around doing this. So I've only got a certain amount. Try not to get anything on the outside. Now I am restricted to the amount of water I've got, so I'm going to have to be careful when I'm cleaning this in a bit. So to give everything a bit of a warm through. As I say, there's a lot more juice in this now, so it should hopefully help rehydrate, or not really cook the rice or rehydrate it really, I suppose. It's just warm it back through and fluff it back up. So because it's so warm, I don't really need a massively hot meal. It doesn't really need cooking all the way through because everything's pre-cooked anyway, but I just want the rice to be a little bit softer than if it's straight out the packet. And to be honest with you, it's not too bad. And I do like sardines, so I'm just going to leave it another couple of minutes warm through, and then I'll bring you back. Now that's warmed through now, so I'm just going to leave that a sec. Now the gas cooker is still going to be hot. Now years ago I burnt my fingers when I was doing DAV or something like that through the Army Cadets. So it's not, can't really do it here just because of the kind of the how dry the grass is. I mean, you never know with if it's going to cause a fire because of the heat. You just don't know. But the tip I always do now is, and I could do it on there, is I always turn the gas cooker upside down. And the reason for this is it reminds me that the cooker is hot and not to pick it up by the metal. Because when you're packing up and you just, not so much rushing, but it just, sometimes you can do stupid things like pick it up by the pot stand, which I have done in the past, and yeah, not good. Okay, so excuse the sun, it's just literally right behind me over my shoulder. So food is now done, so it's just warmed through. As I say, I'm not massively bothered about it being hot, but that's what it looks like. So yeah, very nice. So I'm going to eat this up, eat it, have some afters, and then I'll probably just have a chill out for a bit, and then I'll bring you back once the sun starts to set and I start setting up my stuff. Okay, so just before it gets dark, I'm going to go through the kit that I'm using for tonight. So I brought all this up with me. It's a tried and tested kit that I've used quite a few times before. So bar one thing, which is the new pillow. So start off with the actual tent itself. Is the Bobcat one, OEX. I think a lot of bushcrafty camping people in the world have seen the Bobcat one. It is a very compact tent. It is one man, as you can see, but it's very, very sturdy tent. As you can see, it's quite windy up here, and nothing, absolutely solid. And for the price I got it for, which was like under 80 quid, I can't moan. I've used it a couple of times now and it's amazing. So that's the tent. So what I actually used to bring my kit up here in was the Osprey Exos 48. Same again, brilliant bit of kit. I've had it a good few years now. It's took a battery and it's got holes in the front of it, but 48 litres and it holds all my kit easily. It is a cracking bit of kit, and in there at the moment it's just like my spare clothes, wash kit, etc. Just bits and bobs that's not in the tent. So in the actual tent itself, if you haven't seen inside, you've got an orange mesh inner, and you've also got, which is nice, is a little ground sheet on the vestibule. The door actually zips away all the way into a pocket here, which is nice. And also with this little overhangy bit here, you can leave the door open at the top if you're getting a little bit warm. So sleeping mat. So the sleeping mat is the TREKOLOGY UL80. The pillow, which I got the other day, is the TREKOLOGY UL80 Plus SE. And then the things I'm actually using to keep warm. Now I haven't opted for a sleeping bag. What I've opted for is, which I've used and it does work, a sleeping bag liner, just a cheap cotton sleeping bag liner, and a becuase down quilt. So well, blanket more than quilt I suppose. It's a blanket, and it's surprisingly warm. It's got clips so you can clip it up and wrap it round you, but to be honest, I've used it a good few times outside in the summer and it's been fine. That's the pillar. So I had the really lightweight one, which was just like a green outer, and once in the tree in the forest and it popped. So I've now upgraded to one with a cover on it, so hopefully it'll last a bit longer. To blow up my airbed, I used the Flextail mini pump. So double click it, it pumps. And obviously it pumps from the one side and deflates. And then for my lamp tonight, 3 settings. So yeah, that's the setup really. I've set it up a little bit earlier than I was going to, just because there's literally nobody around. So you see my cook kit, I've got my waterproof jacket, with the kit that's here, which is in the back. All the bags I normally just throw in the tent bag, because they'll then, excuse me a second, I'll go in the tent bag, and then this then goes in this extra pocket, so I know where they all are. One thing I did buy today is a little bum bag. Now I don't really usually use anything like this, but I seen Horn Outdoors, or his new name now, which is the Mardy Camper. He had one, and I presume he just keeps all his filming stuff in there and bits and bobs. But I've just got in here my wallet and keys, my sunglasses, which is quite a good little thing at the top there for your sunglasses. There's a main pouch, which is where my keys and my phone live, and I've got a little front pouch here which has got my wallet in. I also keep like my mic in there when I'm not using my mic. So yeah, a lot of people moan about the bobcat with the back section being very flappy, but I've just put my walking pole up, and as you can see, it pulls it right up at the back. And don't peg out your bottom part here too far backwards, just peg it straight down, and it seems to kind of lift the back up a little bit. So that is the setup for tonight. So that's pretty much it for now. The sun is starting to set, so it's currently I'm trying to get to my watch, but I can't. 10 to 7. I think last kind of light and sunset is about 9:30ish, so I'm between 9 and half past. So, but yeah, as you can see, I'm quite well kind of hidden in here. This is a main track here, but I don't think anybody will be coming up here tonight. So, right, I'll bring you back for the sunset. Okay, so I am up the top of the hill, and the sun is about, I'd say, an hour before it drops below the hill, the ridge at the back. So I'll quickly show you that. Up, yeah. So generally, rule of thumb is the amount of fingers is every 15 minutes, every finger. So it's around about, it looks like 3 on the camera, but it's actually 4. So it's around about an hour sunset. So it's, as you can see here, and see the wind has picked up quite a lot. But I have brought up with me my little hip flask of Kraken coffee flavoured. So that'll keep me warm up here anyway. But this hip flask, I don't know if you can see it very well. Let me see if we can turn this way. It says Sergeant Wiley, good luck. All of Woolly Null detachment. So this, I've had this since I was 18 and 9 months actually when I left cadets, and I've managed to keep it safe, and it's my camping hip flask now, where I bring my little tipple to keep me warm at the night. So once that sunset's started, I'll bring you back to see that. So just sitting here watching the sunset. We're about 15 minutes, just under 15 minutes out, and the sun is going really red now. So I think this sky is going to turn very, very pink very, very soon. So I'm just going to let the phone run. Hopefully it's got enough memory that we can catch the whole lot and the phone doesn't fall over, because my phone stand is very dodgy. So I need to invest in a different one. So let's try and get you where we need to have you. I think I'm going to have to hold it. Boy, it keeps getting redder and redder, and I think it's going to light up. So I'm going to be quiet, and I might run this at like 4 times speed. So the sun has set and it's starting to get dark, so the lights are starting to come on. So we've got Church Stretton and Little Stretton. We're just going to pan round. We still see the sun a little bit, And then in the background, got Shrewsbury just starting to light up in the background over there. And I think there is a good one. As you can see, the wind has dropped as well, and there's loads of little lights everywhere from the little farmhouses. So I'm going to give it about another 10-15 minutes for it to drop dark, and then I'm going to probably head to my tent, but I'll just check out then, and then I'll probably see you all in the morning. So I'm in my tent, and I've got my little lamp on, but I've also got my UCR one, so I'm going to turn the lamp off in a minute and just have my UCR lamp on for a little bit while I listen to a podcast, and then probably fall asleep, guys, because excuse me, it's been a long day. So I'll see you all in the morning, unless there's any dramas in the night, which I doubt if there will be up here. There is a family wall camping about 100 metres away, which is a dad and his 2 kids. So I went to have a chat with them earlier, and they're fine, like, so. But yeah, right, see you in the morning. Good night. Good morning, campers. So it's just after 05:30, and I'm waiting for the sunrise, and this is what I'm currently looking at. So there's a bit of red in the sky. So just waiting for it to come up now. Last night it dropped a bit cold this morning, but generally it was okay. Everything's a little bit damp this morning, so because of how hot it was yesterday. So just gonna have a couple of hours this morning, have some breakfast, and yeah, just kind of try and warm up a little bit and dry everything out. So I'll bring you back when the sun has rose. So the sun just out 3 times, so I will try that. Hopefully get above, so it's quite cold right now. So just thought I'd quickly show you that the sun has burnt over the clouds now, come over the clouds, and it's so orange and so bright. So hopefully I'll get some warmth from that in the next half hour or so and dry everything off, because everything's a bit damp, and then yeah, enjoy the walk down. I'm almost out of water, and I'm hoping on the map there's a few springs marked, so I'm hoping to get some water on the way down. If not, I've got a couple of litres in the car anyway. So it's around about 6:45, and it's breakfast time. So this morning I haven't got enough water to warm it up, so it's going to be cold vegetarian sausage and beans. So but to be honest, yeah, it's starting to warm up now anyway. So the sun's just coming over the brow of this little hill just here. Oh, lost you. And it's got to wait for the sun to warm my tent up and dry it out, because it's a bit damp this morning. So, but yeah, I'm just going to chill out, carry on walking around, because it's keeping me warm. So and eat more breakfast while I'm walking around. So the first use of the TREKOLOGY UL80 Plus SE inflatable pillow. Really nice, really soft. It's got a good loft on it, a good like 3 inches or so. And yeah, the cover, it's really soft. It's removable cover as well. You can see like the inside. The valve, it's a self-sealing valve, so when you open it, it doesn't let any air out until you click the black button. And what makes these pillows really good, which is what was on my other one as well, is it's got this strap that you can wrap around your air mattress so it doesn't keep coming off, slipping off in the night, which a lot of air mattresses do. And it makes a hell of a difference to a sleep. So yeah, it was a really good sleep last night. Slept for about 4 hours and then kept waking up because I dropped a bit cold, so I had to put my jacket on, etc., and my hat and whatever. So, but yeah, really impressed with it. Pack size is literally a bit smaller than your hand, really. And then to let it down, all you do is just roll it up and stick it in the bag. But yeah, well impressed with it. So I am all packed up and ready to rock and roll. So the sun is up now and we've got a little bit of heat in it. There's my kit packed away, and that's where I slept last night. So remember, leave no trace when you're while camping. So today the plan of action is to go down. So back down this hill. So back down there to where the sheep are, just here. I'm going to swing a left and go down that hill towards that farm, and then there's a track just at the bottom. I'm going to walk along the side of the hill. I don't fancy going along down the steep hill with my dodgy knees and so on. So, and yeah, I'll show you a bit of the route. I'm hopefully going to look for a spring, which is marked on the map as well. A couple of springs, maybe filter some water, and because I've only got a little bit left. So, all right. So I've been looking for some water to filter because I'm almost out. So I've found the little spring that's marked on the map. Obviously I could get it from down there, but you've got these pissing and pooing machines. So I'm going to go up a little bit and try and find the source. See if I can get a little bit closer to the where it starts, so I can try and get what possible to filter. Now on the map it doesn't look like it's too far up. I've left my bag at the bottom and I'm working my way up, but you can tell there's water, or where there's water, just by the foliage around. So very green, ferns, reeds everywhere. So if you're looking for water, that's a good sign that there's water around. Is the nice green and lush, especially if it's dry, like it, very dry like it is at the moment. So I'm hoping I can get round to the source of this, which hopefully will be up here somewhere. Still see it running. Run up here. Oh, this is the main kind of run off here. Yeah, you see you got sheep piss and shit everywhere, so I'll see if I can find it and get some. I've got a feeling it's going to be right up there. Okay, so I gave up on the last one because it was way too high, so I've walked along a bit and I found what looks like the source of the next one along. So you can see it coming out of the side of the hill there. Obviously it's coming from up there underneath, so I'm hoping that any contaminants is being filtered out by the ground. So I'm going to fill my water bag, a Sawyer Mini, filter it and boil it for a quick coffee, and then I'm going to start heading back to the car. So if you haven't seen one of these Sawyer Minis before, it comes with the water filter, which is this. Okay, as you can see, it goes down 0.1 microns, so it will filter out a lot of the nasties in the water. But I am going to boil it for a brew anyway, so yeah, so I'm going to leave it to boil for about 1.5 minutes, 1 minute. So, but basically all I do is I can't do it one-handed, but you screw the Sawyer Mini onto the top of there, onto the squeeze bag, and just squeeze it, and it comes through the filter. Okay, so I'm just walking back to the car, and I've come across a dead ash tree. It looks like it's been down a while, and we've got two types of fungus. So we've got polypore, bracket polypore, or bracket fungus. Okay, and it's absolutely huge, and you can see it's like 2 or 3 hands, very spongy and soft. Ugh, and quite underneath. It feels really like ugh. And then down here, as you can see growing on this tree, is the coal fungus, King Alfred's cake, what we was on about yesterday about firelighting. So I've pulled off a couple big ones. They are dead, you can hear. I'm going to put them in my bag, and then later on in the week I'll do a video on how to use them to start a fire using flint and steel and some dead grass. So I'm going to carry on down here now, walk along this track. Up there is the end of the hill I was on yesterday. Oh, I've just spotted some more bracket fungus. So you see them there. Whoa, biggie beastie ones as well. Well, this is an old dead ash by the looks of it. But yeah, you can see them, absolute beasts. Yep, sorry, so got distracted. I'm going to carry on around here, basically follow the edge of the hill round to the little stream that was on yesterday. Okay, so we're on to the last bit of the walk now. Alright, up to the top of this hill, at that tree line, swing a right, and the access to the road is in that corner. Now you're probably just thinking, why walk up the tree line, fence line, rather than just cutting straight across? Now this is a access route on private farmland probably, so you don't want to be just mowing across people's private land here. So on the maps, the routes are marked with green dotted lines, so as much as possible stick to them. Don't just go wandering across people's land, because you wouldn't be happy if somebody come and walked across your front garden, would you? So I'm going to get to the top of here, and then I'm going to swing a right and head back to the car. Probably have a brew, and then I'm going to go to the top of the burb. I'm going to drive up because there's a nice viewpoint and a car park at the top. So the car is just around the corner. I just thought I'd show you this funky little thing. So it's a little hut, the vending hut at the farm, just at the bottom, and you got ice cream, snackies, and a coffee machine, and it's all tap and stuff. They've also got a map of the area as well, which is pretty good. If you fancy an ice cream at the end of your walk, this place to be. So, alright. Right, so I'm back to the car, and I'm gonna have a little snack, and then I'm gonna head up to the top of the Burway, and then go up to the viewpoint, so you can see the whole of like Cardigan Mill Valley and the London. Okay, so the last bit of the trip then is just walked up the hill to Pole Bank, which is kind of one of the highest points in the area, and it's got a trig point on it. So this is the view here. So 360-degree view. There's the trig point. And you can see behind me there's a stripe of stones, and there's other areas you can walk. So, but the area straight in front of me here is the Lungmynd and Carding Mill Valley. So that's the end of the video. Thank you for watching. If you've made it through to the end, please like and subscribe, and I'll be doing more of these towards the next month, and we're going to try and do some winter ones as well. All right, cheers, and I'll see you again soon.